Hey guys, it is Dyzix here from Vigil Gaming, and I am here today to bring you a Protoss versus Terran, which with myself playing as the red Protoss and my opponent Discom playing as the blue Terran. Now, I'm just going to speed up a little bit so I can keep the vid under 10 minutes and you don't see too much. I basically start off, basic pylon, and then I'm going to chrono boost my economy, which is a nice way I like to start off the game as Protoss because I really feel it can get you that early advantage because you have that chrono boost. And after I put up my first gateway, here, I'll slow it down a bit. There we go, back to regular speed. After I get my first gateway, I like to do the scan. I just double checked here in case there was any kind of a proxy because it's Steps of War. And if you're new, Steps of War is a really cheesy map sometimes because, and by cheese I mean sometimes he will proxy you and put annoying things down here, just try and rush you and finish the game really early. So I try and do the scouting, just basically see that he has his wall off here. So I'm not too worried about anything because I realize I'm in a safe position, so I'm just macroing up, getting another gateway and a pylon. I'm going to go into cybernetics. And another reason I wanted to cast this game is because it really shows the value of scouting. As you'll see later on, scouting will really come in handy. So yeah, just basically getting my cybernetics core so I can get those two, so I can get into my stalkers, which is great, pretty much a great transition. I like to go pretty much any time. The only time I wouldn't get a cybernetics core really early and I would just push out with zealots is maybe if they're pushing really hard or I see a window of opportunity that they're really not microing very well. So this guy throws on a reactor really quick, getting a lot of marines. Another barracks and a factory. Has his economy going. Pretty much basic thing in here to have my gases starting up. I'm going to be researching warp gate in a second and throwing down another third gateway. It's a really good build to go if you're new to StarCraft 2 and you want to try out Protoss, because I don't know, I just came new to StarCraft 2 and beta phase 1. And I came in a little bit late because all I did was pre-order the game and got it from GameStop, right? So I came in a little bit late, not invited. And Protoss is a really easy race, I think, for you to learn because a lot of the concepts are pretty basic and a lot of build orders are pretty easy to do yet effective. So here I just decided I'm going to test out the waters, which is something I highly recommend doing all the time. And I'm just going to see, hey, maybe can I snipe something, push out a little bit, and then I'm like, oh wait, there's a bunch of marines there. I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna be able to break that wall. So pretty much just went back to my base after that. I'm like, okay, forget that plan. I'm just gonna mass up some units, have my warp gate researching. I see that he's not pushing out with anything too amazing yet, just see marine and marauder, so I'm not too worried as of right now. But I still feel like I should get the robotics, and I really enjoy getting the robotics. If you don't even get Immortals or Colossus out of it, at least get the robotics for the scout, because the observer is so powerful because it's cloaked, and unless they have something that can detect it, you pretty much have an infinite scout, and it can come in huge use in later game. Because you can see exactly what's going on in their base and you can counter directly. So there I'm throwing on my fourth gateway, trying to keep my minerals low, trying to keep my macro high. Throwing down some more pylons. Just basically doing my standard because I went in and tested the waters. And look at this, he is getting a Thor. Now this could catch me completely off guard because in retrospect, I mean, I know it's not the fastest Thor you've ever seen, but it is a fairly quick Thor, and Thors are very powerful against Stalkers and Zealots. So I'm getting my Observer out, and you'll see what I decide to do once I get my Observer out, which does turn out to be really good. So basically, he goes for a fast expansion here as a Terran. Protoss is another good reason why it's really nice to play as a new player Protoss, because a 1-base Protoss is really powerful. You can still get a decently sized force without having to grab your natural, while Zerg does require a lot. So here, get my observer in, bam, what do I see? A Thor. And I realize that 400 HP, they're really hard things to pummel through. So I'm just getting my pylon up so I can observe, and then I'm like, uh-oh. I'm watching them walk across the map with this early Thor. Now, my army isn't that bad. With a Marine Marauder ball protecting a Thor, it can pummel through it pretty quick. Now, I am very lucky that he decided to stop or miss macro or do something for a second. I have no idea what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to break through the back door, and then, yeah, that's probably what he's doing, and then decided not to. But as of right now, I'm training my Immortal. Immortals are great against armored units, such as Thors and tanks. So, this is a great counter. All I'm pretty much trying to do is hold him back until I can just finish my Immortal, because then the battle can be a little bit more even. So, finally get my Immortal out, I'm like, okay, and you know, this kind of sucks, bad macro for me. My Immortal couldn't get in right away. I realized that, so I tried to move him up a bit. Still fail again, but finally, we sniped out the Thor. These guys are a little bit harder to clean up with Immortals, because Immortals aren't very good against regular units. But still, I managed to do that big counter push. So, he was trying to funnel another Thor back here, realized he lost the battle. Right now, I send my scout in like a millisecond to go back and scout, because I want to see if the waters are good or not to push again. Decided to throw down another Immortal, because I saw his Thor build, and Immortals are a pretty good counter to that. Like, the basic rule of thumb, as Protoss I see it, I'm not too experienced with other races, I'm not experienced with Protoss either, but basic rule of thumb that I see is Immortal's really good against armored, everything else is pretty much Colossus. Like, if you get a big M&M ball, you can get some Colossus in there, boom, it can wipe through everything. So here I see, okay, yeah, he has his command center up and running. I see a Thor here, just a couple Marines and Marauders, so I'm like, okay, do I want to go with this or warp in a few more? Decide to warp in a few more, and now I feel pretty confident moving out. That's a pretty menacing ball to come out of a Protoss army. And you have to keep in mind, too, with this build order, easily I can reinforce my my army with new warp-ins, which is the beauty of kind of playing with this warp gate build, I'm sorry. And so here I'm about to go in, I see that all I want to do is snipe the Thors, because they cause the most mayhem and havoc. And yeah, with that many Stalkers in the army, it's really good. Also too, you'll see that I switch my two Immortals to this. Look how fast it is I can tear down. If you can, another good strat that I should make a bit of sometime, and it probably will, is to do harassment with Immortals and buildings. They pummel building. And yep, that's pretty much GG. Counter that push. He didn't have much else. One more Thor. I could have easily cleaned it up with that while also reinforcing. So thanks for watching. I will talk to you later. This has been Dyzix.